Hey everyone, we're going to do a quick lesson on listing commissions and how to charge that listing commission and what minimums mean at the office here at Elevate. Every brokerage has their different rules with what you can charge for a listing. Now, something to keep in mind is that as a listing agent, you set the commission. Okay, so we have minimums of what you can set as your commission here at Elevate, and I'm going to explain how that works. Now, as a buyer's agent, you might be asking, well, is there a minimum of what I can get as a buyer's agent? No. However, you may want to set that up with your clients ahead of time, and we'll talk about that more when we're doing buyer consultations. So as a buyer's agent, you really don't have a ton of control over what you get as a commission, because in general, it's going to come from the seller and it's going to be charged by the listing agent. So the listing agent charges a commission to the seller, and then the listing agent determines how much the buying agent, also known as the selling agent, gets and how much that listing agent keeps for their brokerage. So here's how it works. Suppose a listing agent is going to list a home for 6%. They've already talked to the homeowner. They have the listing agreement. The homeowner has agreed to a 6% commission. This is how it might work. The listing agent will list it as a 3% commission, perhaps, for the buyer agent. So let's say we have a $200,000 house, and the commission for that being charged by the listing agent to the seller for when it sells is 6% of the sale price. So that means the homeowner is going to pay 6% of $200,000, which equals $12,000 in commission. So the listing agent charges 6% on $200,000. That's $12,000 that the homeowner pays at closing. Now, the listing agent determines how much that they're going to keep and how much they're going to give to the buying agent or the selling agent. If they're splitting it in half, giving 3% to the buyer agent and keeping 3% for their brokerage, then that would split out to $6,000 and $6,000. Often what you see is something a little different for the buyer's agent. So the listing agent may determine, okay, we're going to give the buyer agent what's called a 3-2. So this is the minimum amount at Elevate that you can, as a listing agent, give to the co-broke, which is the buying agent or the selling agent, a 3-2. You're like, what is a 3-2? Let me explain it. So 3-2 works like this. 3% is taken on the first $100,000 and 2% on the balance. Okay, so that might be a little bit confusing. So let's break it down a little more. 3% of the first 100,000 would be 3% of the first 100,000 of the sale price. So if the sale price is 200,000, 3% of the first 100,000 would be $3,000. And then 2% on the balance. So what is the balance? If the first 100,000 is taken away, the balance is 100,000. So then 2% would be charged on the balance, which is 100,000, which is $2,000. So how much does the buying agent or the selling agent get at commission time? 3,000 plus 2,000 equals 5,000. So the commission that would be sent to the selling agent or the buying agent's brokerage would be $5,000. So you can see the difference over here at the straight 3%, though the buying agent was getting $6,000. At a 3-2, they're getting $5,000. So what is the listing agent getting then if the buying agent is getting a 3-2? So it's kind of like math a little bit. So if this is 3.2, what does, in the same way, we got to figure out what is the listing agent getting on the first 100,000 and what is the listing agent getting on the balance. If they're going to charge 6% to their customer or to their clients, and they're going to give a 3.2 to the buying agent, this listing agent and the brokerage of the listing agent gets the balance. So what is left over? Well, if it's a 6% straight on the first 100,000, we subtract 3. On the balance, we subtract 2. So the listing agent is going to get 6 minus 3 on the first 100,000, which is 3. And on the balance, they're going to get 6 minus 2, which is 4%. So here we have this scenario. If the listing agent charges 6%, agrees to give the buyer agent a 3.2, that leaves the listing agent a 3.4. So let's calculate that. 3% on the first 200,000 is the same as this one right here, right? It's $3,000. And 4% on the balance, with the balance would be $100,000. That would be $4,000. And the listing agent's brokerage would get 3,000 plus 4,000 equals 7,000. Okay, so now we can see that the listing agent in this scenario is getting 7,000. The buying agent's getting 5,000. When you add that together, you still get 12,000. So that's how you know you're charging everything correctly. The seller is still paying $12,000. However, the split's a little bit different. So up here, the agent has said it's going to be equal, right? That's the first scenario to do with the 6%. The second scenario is the agent's giving the minimum, which is a 3.2. And so the buying agent gets 5,000, listing agent gets 7. It's your business. You can run it however you want to, just as long as you make sure you're giving the minimum of 3.2 to your co-broke or the buying agents. Okay, so now we know this is the minimum for the buying agent, right? Who determines what the buying agent gets? The listing agent. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about what the minimum is that you can charge to your seller on the listing side. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this scenario again. We have a listing for 200,000. We know the minimum that we can give the buying agent is a 3.2. Right? So you have to at least charge your client for this listing at least a 3.2, because you have to give a 3.2 to the buying agent. So you have to do at least a 3.2. That's the minimum for the buying agent. For you, you have a minimum too of what you can collect. And that minimum, when you're listing a home, the money that the brokerage expects, they expect a minimum of 2%. So remember, this isn't 2% isn't what you charge the seller, because we have to charge the seller both the listing side and the buying side. So what is the minimum that you can charge your seller? Well, it's 3.2 plus 2%. Okay. What does that mean? Well, let's break it down. What's 3% on the first 100,000? That's 3,000, right? What's 2% on the balance? That would be 2,000 equals 5,000. So here we go. Same minimum, $5,000 for the buying agent. What is 2% for the listing agent? 2% would be $4,000, right? So the minimum that you could charge your seller as a listing agent, the minimum you could charge is 5,000 plus 4,000, which is 9,000. How does that translate into a percentage though? Because we know just because we listed at 200,000 doesn't mean it's going to actually sell for 200,000. It could sell above or below. So we have to figure out what this percentage is. It's pretty simple. Like before, when we subtracted, we're just going to add. So we know the listing agent gets 2% on the first 100,000 and they get 2% on the balance. So we're just going to add 2 over here and add 2 over here. The total commission is 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. So the minimum commission you could absolutely charge a seller is 5% on the first 100,000 and 4% on the balance. And just to prove to you that it works, 5% on the first 100,000 would be $5,000. And 4% on the balance of the leftover 100,000 is $4,000. And that equals $9,000. So that's the bare minimum that you could charge your seller according to what we do here at Elevate. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call and we'll talk soon. Bye.